decide to design it?
Yeah, it's a great question. I guess our focus is very much on the business and the people, and how the implementation of digital will impact your business and your people, and how to best prepare for that. And it came off the back of, I suppose, many years of experience of seeing digital programs fail and have to be restarted and sometimes canned altogether. So from that, in our joint experience, we constructed a methodology based on those learnings to avoid the issues and challenges and barriers, and how to design your business, design your transformation for your business. Too many programs had seen failure because the users were trying to break the corners off their business processes to fit a technical solution. Okay. We very much drive it from the other way around, so the students would learn a blueprint for creating their own solutions.
Okay, very good. Okay, so coming at it from less of a technology standpoint than more of a people standpoint. Yes. What should participants on the chat or anybody watching this evening, what should they expect to come away with from a course like this? What are the learnings? Derval, maybe I could put that one to you.
Sure, of course. Yeah, I think the way we look at it is that the students coming on the course, and Michael, of course, will describe his own experience, will come away with equipped with a skill set to design, co-design with their teams, with their colleagues, solutions for digital transformation within their own manufacturing businesses. So end-to-end solution design. In other words, the people who are involved in implementing digital transformation get to design the digital transformation. So it considers all aspects of the business, and it's a very creative, innovative, yet rigorous process based on design thinking and agile program management combined that the students will come away with. We have some of the learning outcomes which are actually up on the Tangent website. I know you're going to refer to them later.
That's right, yeah. We will pop the course page on the Tangent website on the chat here. So if anybody wants to log on, there's a wealth of information on there regarding the course, such as the learning outcomes, the times of the course, what to expect, and all that is covered off there. So we'll pop that in the chat shortly. Okay, and is there, maybe, Derval, I can ask as well, is there a coaching element at all to this course, or how hands-on are you with the students? What does that look like there? Is it group work? Is there coaching? What's involved there?
There's both involved, actually, Jane. Yeah, so the course is based on a high degree of participation, so it's not chalk and talk, I would say. It's very much about getting involved in project work. We encourage all our participants to work together in projects. We actually provide those projects for them to work on. So it's very hands-on, where you're actively learning the skill sets of designing digital transformation and indeed planning and implementing it. That's the first thing to say. However, we recognise that the people who come on this course are probably either about to start or are involved in digital transformation in some form or shape, and may need some coaching in how to apply those skills that they're learning in their own real-life situations. So we're here on hand, and we offer all participants a degree of coaching, either during or just immediately after completing the course.
Okay, and it kind of leads me into another question then. Who within an organisation, Barry, is this course aimed at? Who would be the right fit for this course?
Yeah, I mean, it's focused on digital transformation as a process in manufacturing. Right. So when you look at the different roles and people within those manufacturing organisations, anyone that has a leading or an influencing role in the digital transformation programme, this will be ideally suited to, because, and we don't sort of specify to one particular function like IT and then or automation systems, and that's one of the problems, is that they often see digital transformation as IT's project, but it's actually a business project. So I'd say anyone in a leadership or influencing role that has a major part to play in the digital transformation will be able to get something from this, will be able to apply it, and will see the benefits. And that's one of the differentiators we focus on as well, is estimating those benefits and measuring those benefits afterwards, because that's key from a corporate perspective for justifying the funding and for securing further funding.
Okay. And I suppose maybe I'll come to you then, as maybe you could tell us a little bit about what your role is within your organisation and why you decided, Michael, to participate on a course like this.
Sure thing, yeah. So my role as operations director is really, I suppose I'm looking at it from an operations point of view, where we can involve and include efficiencies and continuous improvement and improve quality at all times, and I guess, making systems that little bit simpler. So, after many years in the industry, I've seen lots of technologies being adapted, some of them very slow to adapt, some projects that failed or never really reached their full potential. And so while we're all the time looking for digital solutions, when I saw this course, I thought it was the first opportunity, I think, to look at it holistically. In other words, going all the way back to the very beginning, from first principles, design principles, all the way to identifying the technologies, choosing the correct one, putting a project plan in place. Human-centric part of it being huge. It's not just the technology, it's the people side of it. Some really good skills around the whole agile project management, and bringing it all the way through to completion, and involving everybody at all levels of the organisation along the way.
So there's a little bit about influencing people and storytelling within this course as well, getting that message across and getting that buy-in from the stakeholders within your organisation.
Completely. There's a lot of tools and templates and knowledge to be gained in there around that engagement from a stakeholder management point of view to engagement to the end user. So it really calls out clearly the people side of it. If you don't have everybody involved in this, it can't possibly.
And have you been able to then really apply the learnings in a real way in the organisation that you're with, which is VLE Therapeutics, is that right?
VLE Therapeutics, I'm really lucky. It's a startup GMP manufacturing facility, and what a great time to get in and have a look and see at all those systems, technologies, digital solutions that are out there, but not just pick and choose like in a sweet shop and just grab ones that we've heard big names on before, but actually go back and assess them properly and see what's important for the organisation at the correct time, and what do you bring in a phase basis, what do you need right now versus in 12 months time. So it covers a lot of that whole assessment process. So from that point of view, the timing of me doing this course last year was really, really good. But I think no matter what stage your organisation is at, the principles and the course content is still equally valuable.
Okay. Excellent, thank you for that. I suppose we'll just check the chat to see if there's any questions, and as I said, I see we have a few coming in here. They're the links, they're the helpful links, so do ask any questions if you have them at home. I might, just bear with me a second, go back and maybe tell us a little bit about your experience of the course, like the group work, working with others. Were you able to learn from some of the peers on the course, Michael? Was there a nice mix even of backgrounds and unique skill sets and experience and so on?
Yeah, there was a great mix. I think that was one of the benefits of the course. I mean, there was people at different levels of their organisation, as we got broken up into project teams, but I think, you talk about leadership at every level. The key thing for the people that were there, they wanted to be there, they wanted to learn new things. And the projects that we were assigned were really beneficial in that regard. Okay. Because while you're learning the theory, then you spend a bit of time on the project, you spend a bit of time on the tools and techniques that you would use. So it was a real combination of the theory, learning that, getting the tools and techniques, and then being brought through that project from conception to implementation. So.
Excellent, seeing the whole thing through from start to finish. Lovely. I know this course is on, guys, and you'll see that on the course page, but it's on across 8 weeks, starting on the 13th of January 2022 and running once a week up until the 10th of March. The course is €2,500, but there is a substantial subsidy available from SkillNet based on your eligibility. So do check in with us regarding your eligibility, because there, as I say, there is that really substantial and generous subsidy from SkillNet available for participants who want to take part in the course. So maybe I'll go back then to you, Barry, and you might tell us a little bit about I suppose your background and how you came to work in this specific area, digital transformation.
Yeah, it's an interesting journey. I suppose I started career as a mechanical engineer.
Okay.
Moved into control systems, automation systems, and then the whole digital piece was just becoming alive at the time. And what became clear was that IT was merging with nearly all departments, including manufacturing systems, including automation systems. Okay. But from being both an engineer on projects that had gotten into trouble and being a project manager of projects that had gotten into trouble in the early days, just tried to pick out the reasons for failure. Yes. And when we sort of looked at them and put them together, we could see the makings of this process, because you were looking at specific elements, and most of it was around engagement in the early days, So you bring your quality team together, you bring your finance business partners, you bring your HR teams as well as your IT and your engineering and your project management teams and your quality, and you bring them all together because no one decision can be made without everybody in the room where there are big business decisions to be made.
Yeah.
And saw that as key. As well as that was, providing a kind of a roadmap, so a vision of where you want to be in the next 3 to 4 years, rather than going for one big bang of digital all in one day. And it can be quite overwhelming, and it doesn't really give you a chance to learn. Whereas if you go step by step, the early stages can enable the latter stages. So you can still have your vision in mind for where you want to be in 3 or 4 years' time.
Yeah.
But you can still make progress, and you can still justify that investment along the way by implementing small changes, surely, and having a plan to go to the next stage. But at each stage, standing down and say, what do we learn from this phase of implementation? How can we bring that forward? And it's things like that will make the difference, and do make the difference. And the work it's not as if we've done this years ago and are talking about it. We're still right in the middle of it. I'm still involved in local projects and a global program of digital transformation with 2 major organizations. So I'm right in the middle of this, and the learnings that we experience in our weekly and daily work come straight into the course as well, in a very practical sense.
Yeah. And maybe Dervla, the same question to you. I suppose, like, your experience is very different to Barry's, and you did come together to design this course. And can you tell me a little bit about where you came from, your perspective, and in coming to it?
Happy to, yeah. My background, Jane, is in strategy and transformation generally.
Okay.
I've worked in many industry sectors and in both product and service organisations. Like Barry, though, my experience has taught me that unless the people who are impacted by strategy or transformation are involved in the design of that, it's not going to work. I think a lot of organisations have strategies designed, in some remote ivory tower, and then people are expected to implement it locally, and there's very little relationship between the two. The other people aspect of strategy, I think, is, and Michael, you've already mentioned this, and it's so important to the success of strategy and transformation, is stakeholder management, knowing who your stakeholders are. We spend a lot of time on our joint projects, Barry and I, paying attention to this, and that's something that we do spend a lot of time on the course as well. But from my background point of view, I've learned the hard way that you must have people involved, people impacted by strategy, involved from the get-go. So I have, in recent years, switched to using design thinking approaches and people-centred, human-centric approaches to design, getting people from all aspects of a business or organisation together to design their strategy with proper stakeholder management, good solid business cases. These are all of the skill sets that we'll be teaching on the course.
Excellent, yeah, and that's something that we do a lot here in Tangent, is the whole design thinking process. Collaborating together, iterating, ideating and finding solutions to a multitude of problems. So it's really great to be able to partner up with you in delivering this course. I think that covers off my questions for the evening. Again, I'll just check in. If anybody has any questions, do ask them now, or there's one here in the Q&A. So is it one full day per week? It's not. How many hours is it?
At the moment, we're looking at an evening delivery because we have, based on our previous participants like Michael, they have their work to do during the day. So we're looking at evening delivery. Times to be firmed up, but I think you can expect very early evening. It's over 8 sessions. The evening sessions are 2.5 hours, Barry, if I'm correct. And the structure is actually up on the website. So outside of that, then, in terms of what the participants can expect to do, Michael, you're probably best to answer that in terms of the project work.
Was there much time that you needed to invest outside of that class time once a week?
It wasn't huge, but there was great learning material available and made available that you could go away and spend as much time as you choose afterwards to go ahead and review all the tutorials and go back over the various materials that were available. Project time then was minimal. Maybe 2 hours a week in between sessions, working with your project team, collaborating with them, and working the project through. But it didn't feel like work because you were moving something along. It's beneficial in that regard, So and the flexible hours, evening hours that you mentioned, for busy people that are already holding on a job, that early evening, I think it was 6 to 8:30, whatever, at that time worked really, really well. So whatever that time is.
We are COVID restrictions notwithstanding, we are also looking at bringing people together in person if that's permitted at some intervals during our 8-week course. It would be great to do that because we feel that people meeting and networking and sharing ideas in person would be so beneficial. So hopefully we'll be able to do that. And the other point I just wanted to underscore what Michael said about the materials. We will provide participants with a lot of video and written material and content. We also have a workbook for the entire course as well. So that will be available to everybody as we progress through the course.
Excellent. With some real practical tools coming out of that, and 8 weeks flies by as well. You know, it's great to have a part-time course that's not going to take over your life for 6 months. You know, as something that you can get some real practical skills from. Is there any other questions there before we finish up this evening? Thank you for your attention, and we'll be sure to put this recording up on our website so that anybody who didn't get to join us here this evening in real time can watch it back again. So no fear there. But any other questions from our attendees before we close off for this evening? Yeah, we see some previous course participants include staff from MSD, Alexon and Pfizer, but certainly it doesn't end there, and it's got, as Barry mentioned earlier, you know, a broad range of industries will benefit from partaking in a course like this. Okay, well, if that's it then, guys, we might finish up a little bit early this evening. I want to thank everybody for making the time to come this evening. Thank you guys for tuning in at home. Barry, Derval, the best of luck with your course. Looking forward to hearing how it goes. And Michael, thank you so much for being here this evening. It's always really interesting to hear from a student perspective, and you know, something that we hear so much of, something that works well when we're promoting our own courses is that student experience. It speaks louder than anything. So thank you for being here. And the best of luck with your digital transformation.
Thanks so much.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Thank you very much.